Our panellists are going to speak for about half an hour to 40 minutes in total, and then we're going to do a little exercise around our tables, and then we're going to hear first from Tony Bradley. So ladies and gentlemen, our panel.
Thanks very much, Mike. Lovely that Lily and Joe could be introduced as young people. Sadly, anyway, it's really good to be with you. I come to this building a lot over the years. I've been a member of Initiatives of Change since 1996, but it's a really great privilege for me to be with you here tonight. Now, all I'm here really to do is to act as a warm-up act for Lily and for Joe, but in order to warm you up, I intend to be quite controversial. Well, end of dinosaur capitalism? Well, actually, news of the extinction event is probably premature, but this is a metaphor I often use with my students at Hope University Business School. There we are, there's this great lumbering beast with a stiff neck, not really able to see down to the ground, and there's a light in the sky coming closer. But down, right underneath the roots, is this little furry creature. The large lumbering beast is not really able to see the creature down below. And I believe that the future evolution of capitalism belongs to these tiny furry creatures, the social enterprises and the ethical businesses. Today's socients look like the first mammals. That is to say, they're right at the start of an evolutionary journey. We shouldn't be looking at the social enterprises that exist today, brilliant as they are, and saying, this is what the economy will look like and what our society will look like. What we're beginning to see are the first signs of new species emerging. And their effects on ethical markets are becoming significant. And this is where I'll finish for the moment. Ethical consumption in the UK has grown from about 13.5 billion in 1999 to about 47 billion in 2010. There is a more warm-blooded consumer. The ethical marketplace is actually being stoked by the failures, ethical failures, moral failures of capitalism.
Well, today I was with Clarissa and her team. They are 14-year-old girls. They are from Mount Carmel Girls' School in Islington, and they rock. And let me tell you why. Because every Tuesday, they have a very quick lunch. They then run to the common room and they set up a youth-led bank. They have an online bank and they have a physical bank. And they open this bank up to their peers. And their peers do something that is even more amazing. They queue during their lunch break. These girls are queuing to deposit their pennies. £1.25, 37p, 19 pence, £6.56, this sort of thing. And I find that amazing. I find that totally inspiring. So Clarissa, let me tell you a little bit about Clarissa. Clarissa, when we started working with her 2 years ago, was the kind of girl that her teachers refer to as academically disengaged. She's not really into school. In fact, she doesn't come to school very much, and really don't trust her with money. Well, we did. We not only trusted her with money, we trusted her with her peers' money, and we trusted her with running a youth-led bank. And 2 years on, actually today was the opening of the 3rd year of the bank, Clarissa came in today. She set up the bank. She got her 10 colleagues working on the different sections of the bank. She opened to customers. Customers came in. They did their banking for the day. She reconciled the accounts. And then she said, running this bank is the best thing I've ever done. And I wish for all my friends at Mount Carmel to save with us every week so they don't make a mess of their money like our parents did.
I was watching The X Factor the other night, and I'm not really sure why either. But in between kind of singing along with the contestants, because, you know, we all do it, right? I was trying to think what to talk about this evening, and So I got thinking, well, hold on. What's all this for? What's it celebrating? How is this useful to me? How is this useful to you? How is it useful to society? Isn't it odd that as society we choose to celebrate this approach to such a limited and narrow definition of what talent is? Isn't it odd? And we hear of all these crises going on around us, don't we? Financial crisis, environmental crisis. And you know what? Everyone's absolutely right. More than this, though, and this is something we need to deal with first, and we need to deal with urgently, in my opinion, a crisis of human resources. 55% of black young men in London are currently out of work. 55%. 69% of young people believe that in current economic conditions, their talent is being thrown away. Their talent is being thrown away. Organisations that help those young people that are locked out of the mainstream feel forced by inflexible funding mechanisms to do little more than pick people up when they're in a crisis, stabilise them, and then move them on. By doing only that, we end up defining young adults in terms of what they lack, or what they've done or not done, rather than who they are and what they could become. So, nothing less than a revolution is required. We must no longer look at a young person's deficits, but rather focus sharply on ways of propagating their talent. So, what is this talent thing that I keep banging on about? It's the skills, the resources, and the opportunities that, when blended with a person's character and their aspiration, unlocks their own unique contribution to the world. However, society tends to define talent in narrow terms, and as such chooses to invest in particular behaviours and achievements over others. Consequently, the story of many young people today is compounded by this limited understanding. This results in a bottleneck of access to the contacts, resources, and opportunities that are needed most and by the most people. Now, I paraphrase Sir Ken Robinson. I mean, all kinds of people who don't enjoy what they do. They simply go through their lives getting on with it. They get no great pleasure from what they do. They endure it rather than enjoy it. But I also meet people who love what they do and couldn't imagine doing anything else. And if you said to them, don't do this anymore, they'd wonder what the heck you were talking about. Because it isn't what they do, it's who they are. They say, but this is me, this is me. It would be foolish for me to abandon this because it speaks to my most authentic self. And I thought that quote resonated beautifully with the title of this evening.
And we're all different. We have 3 in the family.